Hey everyone, in this video I'm going to show you a quick trick inside of DaVinci Resolve 18 Studio that allows you to make object selections and then do color grades just on those objects. And it's a really quick and easy way to make these selective adjustments without having to do any sort of tracing, power windows, and tracking. It's very, very simple. So here is an example of one that I did on this free stock footage. I just changed the color of the car, and you'll notice the car is actually very similar to the color of the sky, so I wouldn't have been able to just use the standard hue versus hue adjustments inside of here. So it's actually a really great way to do that. So I'm going to show you how I accomplish this. So I'm going to go ahead and reset that grade, and all we need to do is come over to our magic mask icon here, and we're going to use the object mask tracker here, or selector. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to draw inside of the vehicle like this until I have a selection that I'm happy with. And you may need to come over here and toggle the mask overlay so that you can have a red outline and see what's going on. And already you can see that I actually have an excellent selection. But let's just say that I wasn't perfectly happy with it and there was something that I wanted to change. So if you hold the Alt key, you'll notice that your icon changes to a little minus. Normally when you're adding what you're adding to the mask. And if you hold Alt, or you can come down here and select it, then that'll change over to the subtract from mask. So let's say I wanted to subtract a little bit of the shadow from in here. You can see that I can indeed do that. And then it cleans up the shadows a little bit better. So that looks pretty good to me. It's not perfect, but for our purposes today, I'm not going to get finesse with it too much. But speaking of finessing, over here you do have the options to increase the radius of the selection, the consistency, the blur radius, clean black and clean white, which are just to either clean up the negative space or the positive space inside of the magic mask selection. And then of course you have denoise and a few other options that you can play around with and kind of see how they help you out. So now that I have my selection, what I want to do is I want to track it. Now my playhead is at the beginning of the clip, so in theory all I would actually need to do is track forward with the play button here. However, if you've made your mask selections in the middle of the clip, because there are some clips where it's actually better to go to a frame inside of your clip where your subject is more in view or fully visible. In that case, you would actually do track forward and backward, or if you were at the end of the clip and that was the best spot to make the mask selection, then you could do track backward. But in my case today, since I am at the very beginning, all I have to do is track forward. And you can see that it's going to do that. And it's doing it very quickly for two reasons. One, I have the quality set to faster, so the mask won't be as precise, but it is going to process more quickly. And this is a pretty low resolution kind of free stock image that I got from Pexels. So that's why it went so quickly. And now you can see that my car is selected. Now the red obviously isn't my grade, that's just showing the mask that I have selected. So to be able to make a grade without this red mask, just toggle it back off. And now all we have to do to change the color of the vehicle is I will go into my hue versus hue, because now I can use this where I don't have any of the sky selected. I'm going to go like this, and now I can make adjustments to just the car. So you can see there, I can change it to a more green color. If I wanted to get really fancy, I could go back into my mask and I could deselect these wheels and have it just select the body of the vehicle and have it track that way. But for example purposes today, I just wanted to do a very simple mask. Very simple and easy. So here I have another clip that I am going to apply the same magic mask to. So with my clip selected, I can go to the center of the clip this time right here. And I'm going to kind of trace right here a little bit of an outline of him. Make sure I try not to get as much of the grass as I can. Come up here like this, and then a little bit of the inside. And boom, and immediately I have a really nice mask. There's a few imperfections, but for our purposes today, I'm not going to worry too much about that. So from here, I'm going to go ahead and track forward and backward again. And it's going to do that track for me. But as you can see, I have that tracked in, And what I'm going to do for this one is I'm just going to make a grade specifically for them. So I'm going to turn off my mask overlay, just like that. You can see that now I have a node where I can make adjustments just to them. So what I'm going to go ahead and do is I'm going to go to, let's say I want to reduce some of the green cast. And I made a previous video about this of how you can do it using the depth map feature, which is also a viable way, but this is actually a bit more precise. Hence why I'm making this video and using this clip as an example. So I'm going to go ahead and go into this right here, my colored warper. I'm going to reduce the greens. And you know what? That actually doesn't do it quite enough, so I'm going to do it inside of here. There we go. That's what we're looking for. In my offset, I'm going to reduce the greens just a little bit here. Very good. And maybe increase the blues just a bit and reduce the reds. Okay, so that got rid of kind of the green cast on them and his suit. But now I need to adjust for the colors that have kind of been messed up. So I'm going to bring some yellow and orange back into their skin, like that. Very good. And that's pretty much it. I can maybe increase the highlights if I want to. You can see here that that's what it's doing for me. And the contrast as well. So that enabled me to really separate the subjects from the foreground and the background. And the nice thing about this is it's actually much faster compared to the depth map feature that I showed you in a previous video. This one is way less resource intensive. It's still pretty intensive. You know, my computer does still ramp up, but it's doing a much better job than it was before. So and that's pretty much it. So thanks again so much for watching. If you like this video, go ahead and drop a like for me down below. Subscribe to the channel. I'd really appreciate it. And leave a comment below. How would you use this feature in your projects? I'm really interested to know. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.